Hey, this is Charles Lewis.
Hello, this is Todd Lewis. Of course, coming to you as we do every week from Charles Lewis Photography in Grand Rapids, Michigan, with a Lewis-sized kick in the pants photography money making video. Hope you're having a wonderful start to the week. And here we're going to give you a few things to keep you moving in the right direction as the week goes on in your photography business. Let's jump right in here. We have a couple different sections that we do in each of these short 10-minute or so videos. The first one we always like to do is a motivating quote of the week. Words from someone who is a wise person, who has something that has been particularly motivational to myself or to Charles, my father. This one it comes from Charles H. Spurgeon, who said, quote, "Our anxiety does not empty tomorrow of its sorrow, but only empties today of its strength." Oh, great quote there from Charles H. Spurgeon, who was a preacher, actually, in Britain in the 1800s. And what this quote exemplifies for me is that anxiety is the killer of action. So many times we're afraid of what is to come, and we allow that fear to cause us to not take action. The fear of pain is greater than the anticipation of the pleasure that we may get when we actually take action.
Yeah, and however, when we let that fear cause us to not take action, it's robbing us of our strength, power, and personal control because it's very almost paralyzing if you allow anxiety, to be have you become so afraid that you just are afraid to do anything. You've got to get over that. You've got to stand up straight and tall and say, doggone it, I'm mad as heck. I'm not going to take this anymore, and take action.
So don't allow yourself to be driven by fear and anxiety. Constantly take action that moves you toward your goals. You should only fear the lack of action. That should be the thing that you fear most. So the only thing we have to fear is lack of action, if I can paraphrase. That was Roosevelt, right?
Yep, right on.
So famously said, the only thing we have to fear is fear itself. The only thing we have to fear is lack of action. But this is actually an extension of the only thing we have to fear is fear itself. Anxiety is fear,
Yep.
So, hey, so there's we have another quote, a bonus quote for you for the week from Franklin Delano Roosevelt.
Yep.
The only thing we have to fear is fear itself. All right, next up is our motivational exercise for the week. Something to help you through times when you may not be feeling as motivated as you may want to or feel that you should. This week, what I want you to do if you're not feeling motivated or if you're having trouble knowing what you should be working on is ask yourself, what's the best use of my time right now? As you go through your day-to-day work in your photography business and in your life, you will inevitably have times when you're not sure what you should be working on. And that's where your PTS time and your things to-do list are so powerful. Now, I want to say here, you should never be confused about what you should be working on if you're doing your PTS time, which, Dad, I know you'll very briefly talk about in just a second. And if you have your things to-do list already worked out, the power of that is you've already determined ahead of time what the best use of your time is at any given moment. However, if you don't have that at that moment, or you're not 100% sure, ask yourself, what's the best use of my time right now?
Yeah, this is one of my favorite questions. I ask myself this every day, all day, throughout the day. But PTS time has been one of the most revolutionary things in my entire life. I've been doing it for over 30 years. Every morning, invest, I should say, about an hour every morning in PTS time. The P stands for planning, the T stands for thinking, and the S stands for studying, where I do my things to-do list. I read some very good materials from people that I respect and admire, and I plan out my day, my week, my month, my year. Very valuable. But if you do come to a time when you're not sure what the best use of your time is, you just ask yourself that simple question, and it will force you to determine what's really the most important to you.
Treat time like a living thing, as strange as that sounds. Something that if you don't take charge of it and tame it, then it's going to take charge of you.
Yeah.
Make sure that you're always working on the things in your photography business that are most important, even when they may not be the things you want to be doing at the moment. Again, we're going to be doing things sometimes that, this isn't what I'd prefer to be doing right now, but it's vital, it's important. So what's the best use of my time right now? Ask yourself that question as you go throughout the week.
Right on.
It's time for a fast action marketing tip of the week. This one is a real key and one that so many photographers skip or don't even think about or don't even realize is so important. That is, send something to your VIPs. Now, what are VIPs? VIP stands for very important patron. And that basically refers to your past clients. Anybody with whom you've worked, for whom you have created a photograph, what you would sometimes refer to as a past client. Now, we never refer to them as a past client. Why? Because they're not a past client. Past client says to me, they're in the past. We worked with them, they're done, they're gone. That's not true. Once they're a client of yours, they are a client for life.
That's right.
Don't make the mistake of thinking of them as a past client. They are a very important patron.
Yeah, this is really, really important. And in fact, I was just talking today with an extraordinarily successful photographer who we have been good friends and worked with for many years. And he was saying that the number one key thing in the marketing of his business that he's doing right now is staying in touch with and making special offers to his VIPs. So this is really something powerful for you. But don't say to yourself, but Chuck, Todd, I only have 10 VIPs. Why even bother this? No matter how many or few VIPs you have, you are missing out on a lot of money if you don't do this. This is very powerful.
The biggest single challenge of running a photography business is getting new clients in the door. Therefore, once you have a client, you must realize that client is worth potentially hundreds or thousands of more dollars to you down the line. So don't just write them off as a past client. They are of extreme value to you.
Yeah. So put together a newsletter, either physical or digital, to send to your VIPs once a month. That's one thing you can do. Stay in touch with them. Then occasionally include a special offer for photography to them with the newsletter. Your VIPs will work with you again and again, and what's really great is they will also refer other people to you too if you stay in touch with them.
Right. And that newsletter is it's something really simple. Don't feel like, hey, I'm not a professional writer. How on earth would I do something like that? The less professional of a writer you are, oftentimes the better off you are, as long as you always just keep in mind, write from an emotional standpoint. Talk to them emotionally. You have an emotional product. You deal in emotion every day in photography. So as long as you're talking to them about the reasons you love photography and the reasons you love family and why family is so important and things that are going on in your family and things that might be going on in theirs, those are all the things. We could talk for hours, Dad,
yeah.
on the power of the newsletters. And again, this can be delivered physically through the mail or, digitally as a PDF file or just as an email with an attachment to it. Very, very simple to do. Keep in touch with them. They will work with you again and again and again.
Yep.
All right, next up, we like to have a little section where you get to hear from other photographers throughout the world who are utilizing some of the similar secrets that we utilize in our photography business to be successful. This one comes from Keith Bobo in Louisville, Colorado, actually. I think it's Louisville. I can't remember if it's Louisville or Louisville in Colorado there. I apologize if I got that wrong. Well, one of those two is wrong, obviously. But let's listen in on this recorded message from Keith real quick. Here we go.
This is Keith Bobo. I live in Louisville, Colorado. I've been an Inner Circle member for about 2 years now. But I'll tell you that using your guys' technique has really, really benefited my profession here and my business. It just turned it overnight from not selling much to double my sales in my studio every year for the last 2 years. And this is just flat awesome that with this down economy, starting with this recession, that I'm being able to grow my studio's sales, 2x, and I'm hoping to go 4x this year. For the smaller homes out here, I'm getting 20 by 30s and 30 by 40s in it, and on the really nice homes out here, I've actually sold a 40 by 50. Because I keep reviewing your Inner Circle website, I'll tell you, all this is adding up to my sales going up 3 or 4 times from what I did before I used the inner circle techniques. So for all you guys, I just recommend do what I do. Go out there on the inner circle and then keep re-watching the webinars. You pick up different things that you missed, and it's just a gold mine out there.
Well, great comments from Keith Bobo, and it is Louisville, Colorado. So thank you for that, those comments, Keith. And again, the key is taking action on the secrets that we're revealing to you. You need to take action on this stuff, and when you do, the stuff really works. And we talked earlier in our tip for ask yourself what's the most important thing you can be doing right now.
Yep.
Sometimes the answer to that is going to be doing things that maybe you don't want to do, or you don't. Sometimes here you're going to be having to do some things that you don't maybe think are the right thing to do, but take the secrets that we're giving you, trust that they work, because they've not only worked for us, but they were working for hundreds and thousands of photographers all over the world that are implementing them as well. And that's why we wanted you to hear those wonderful words from Keith.
Yeah, thank you, Keith. That was very kind of you.
You bet. Time for our goals and planning section of this video. Here's where you get to take a look at the progress that you've made over the past week, plan out your upcoming week, and of course, read your goals aloud to yourself. It's a very important part of this. We're not going to belabor it here, but please know this is a very important part of each of these videos. Pause the video here while you do those 3 steps that are on the screen now, and we'll come back to you when you're done. Once you hit play, we're just going to sit here. Let's hang out, Dad.
Okay, that sounds good.
We'll sit here and chat for a bit. So
yeah.
All right, we've been chatting for quite some time. I'm very proud of you for doing what you did there and hitting pause on the video. I'm very proud of you for doing that. Let's move on to our final thoughts for the week. Now, both my father and I, we understand what it's like to not feel motivated, to feel run down, to feel like things aren't working despite working so hard. We've felt that way too at times.
Yeah, the key is to never, ever give up. Remember the things that you're doing that are working. Keep discovering the tips and the strategies from other people who are where you want to be, and keep applying those things to your business.
Success is just around the corner for you. It's always right there. It's not as far away as you may think. Believe that you can get there, and you will. Work smarter, not harder. That's the key. That's why we're coming to you each week here. That's why we have our Inner Circle membership and our online vault for photographers that want to delve into these secrets and really leapfrog over their competition. That's what we are all about, is helping other photographers be the success that they deserve to be. Keep the photographic profession the wonderful profession that it is today, and believe me, it's going strong, folks. So keep going for those dreams, keep going for those goals, and we'll talk to you in next week's video.
Bye now.